Hi, it's Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. I am sharing with you today some of the Christian fiction books that I found that are releasing in July 2025. These are a lot of books. I'm thinking of maybe in the future splitting it up a bit. So I'll tell you what's happened is the Love Inspired and the Love Inspired Suspense. Usually they put one, like a group of books out every month. And sometimes they end up with like somehow two releases, like one at the beginning of the month and one at the end of the month, and then like none the month before. So I'm thinking in the future of like shuffling them forwards just to even out the videos a bit. But anyway, that doesn't matter for now. We have lots of books to look at. I have grouped them into different genres, so you feel free to skip through to the ones that you actually want to find out about. Also, I need to say I have not read any of these books, so I don't know what the content is like. I don't know what the books are like. I can't tell you if there's anything in there that would not be considered appropriate for a Christian reader to read. I'm going to read out the descriptions that the publishers have put out. So get yourself a coffee or get yourself a whole meal and sit down and get your ironing ready, and we'll have a look at these books that are coming out next month. In Mystery and Suspense, Exposing Lethal Secrets by Deena Alexander releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. This bodyguard and his canine will do anything to uncover the truth. Stumbling upon a burning car and rescuing an injured woman wasn't on bodyguard Caleb Miller's vacation itinerary, nor were the gunmen who opened fire on them, but Olivia Delaney has no memory of who she is or how she got there, only that she is under threat. Vowing to protect the woman in danger, Caleb and his canine go on the run with Olivia. As they work to stay a step ahead of her pursuers, they must untangle her past together before her family's deadly schemes bury them both. Wyoming Wilderness Survival by Jill Elizabeth Nelson releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. Seeking refuge in the mountains with killers in pursuit. Just as EMT Tracy Graham's murder conviction is about to be overturned, she is ambushed by the crime family who framed her and now want her dead. Fleeing into the woods sends her into the path of ex-cop Callum Mitchell, who has his own history with her assailants. But when his secluded cabin comes under attack, the wilderness is their only escape route. With Callum's toddler son in tow, they must evade hitmen while navigating treacherous terrain. But can they make it out alive when there are predators around every corner? Cold Case Peril by Maggie K. Black releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. An unsolved crime, a canine team on the case. Unexpected danger is closing in fast. When someone tries to run dog trainer Micah Landon off the road, Officer Lucy Lopez and her canine partner, Piper, show up just in time to make a rescue. Someone wants Micah dead. But why? Is this connected to Lucy's weapons smuggling case in which she's investigating Micah's younger half-brother? Or was Micah attacked because he started looking into the cold case murder of his stepmother? As threats against Micah escalate and secrets are revealed, it's clear someone will stop at nothing to keep an unsolved murder buried. Can they uncover the truth before it costs them their lives? Alaskan Police Protector by Megan Short releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. To save a child, he has to risk his own life. When a minivan slides off the road into an icy lake, Officer Samuel Miller narrowly rescues a woman and child from certain death. Only Rachel Harding insists the crash is no accident. It's eerily similar to how her sister and brother-in-law recently died. As the unexplained attacks escalate, Samuel is determined to protect Rachel and her orphaned niece at all costs. But when they make a shocking discovery, their investigation becomes even more dangerous and survival may be impossible. Mountain Murder Threat by Shannon Redmon releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. This is Kane's Sisters Book 2. Somebody wants her dead. Protecting her is his mission. An early morning run takes a chilling turn when homicide detective Layla Kane is nearly abducted and becomes a serial killer's latest target. She teams up with her ex-fiancé, Officer TJ Snow, and they race against the clock to stop the rising body count. After evading several attacks in the mountains, Layla realizes the danger may be linked to her past, and soon the case becomes even more personal when Layla's twin sister is abducted. Can Layla and TJ save her before another innocent life is taken? Shadowed Witness by Angela Carlisle releases on the 1st of July and is published by Bethany House Publishers. This is The Secrets of Kincaid, Book 2. Murder. That's what photographer Ali Jessup knows she's witnessed as she departed her studio one evening. Waking with bruises on her neck and a foggy memory, she believes she survived an attack, but everyone seems to think she simply sustained a head injury from falling down the stairs of her studio. Plagued by an undiagnosed health condition, she is torn between the haunting reality of what she may have seen and the possibility that her mind is playing tricks on her. Without proof the other victim ever existed, Detective Eric Thornton can hardly declare the area a murder scene. Still, he adds Ali's report to his already full caseload, but when new evidence surfaces to support her claims, Eric must stay one step ahead of a ruthless killer and uncover the truth before the suspect closes in on Ali again. Fire Mountain by Dana Mentink releases on the 1st of July and is published by Revell. This is Elements of Danger, Book 1. In the shadow of a threatening volcano, long-haul trucker Kit Garrido wakes up in her crashed big rig, unable to recall what happened or why she's suddenly in possession of someone's baby. Fiercely independent, she has to admit that perhaps this time she could use a little help. As the threat of eruption grows, former cop Cullen Landry refuses to leave his cabin in the evacuation area, which is why he's the only one left who can help Kit escape the crumpled cab of her truck. He doesn't want to get tangled up in the mystery of the beautiful woman with an abandoned infant, but when he sees the bullet hole in the windshield and the bloody handprint on the interior, he realizes that he's in this thing, like it or not. When two armed men with ill intent approach, the race is on to stay alive, discover the truth and find the baby's missing mother, all while a deadly mountain rains fire from above. Burning Secrets by Susan May Warren and Lisa Phillips releases on the 8th of July and is published by Sunrise Publishing. This is Chasing Fire, Alaska, Book 4. Rescue, Danger, Devotion. This time their hearts are on the line. Wrong place, wrong time. Wildlife biologist Jojo Butcher isn't just a smoke jumper for the Midnight Sun crew, she's also in Alaska to finish up her wolf research. Until, oops, she finds herself face to face with a wolf with nowhere to go, and then she's rescued by a hero from the woods. Who exactly is he and what secrets is he hiding? He's living a double life. Undercover FBI informant Michael Crew Sterling hates his life. Buried deep inside a domestic terrorist group, he's in over his head, trying to discover their lethal plans. And then he saves the life of Jojo Butcher, and suddenly she is sunshine to his dark soul, until she accidentally walks into nightmare. Now Crew must keep her alive by proving that she's his girlfriend, and she has to play along, or they'll both be killed. And when they discover what the group is really doing, Crew will have to make a choice that could cost him everything he sacrificed to save the woman he's falling for. Perilous Tides by Elizabeth Goddard releases on the 15th of July and is published by Revell. This is Hidden Bay, Book 2. 3 years after her mother's suspicious death, forensic artist Jo Cottrell is in hiding, working at a storm-watching lodge along the Washington's coast. When her father sends her a disturbing and cryptic message, Jo leaves the safety of the lodge to find him. But during the ferry crossing, Jo witnesses a murder and becomes a target. More surprising to Jo than being in danger is the identity of the person who steps in to protect none other than her ex, former Green Beret Cole Mercer, now a private investigator. Cole has been looking into her mother's death. If he can just uncover the truth, maybe Jo can end her self-imposed captivity, and the two of them can pick up the pieces and build a future together. As Cole and Jo search for answers, the past rushes in like a dangerous tide to sweep them away before the truth can be revealed. Burning Truth by Kelly Underwood, Susan May Warren and Lisa Phillips releases on the 22nd of July and is published by Sunrise Publishing. This is Chasing Fire, Alaska, Book 5. She's on a mission to revive her career. Danny Barlow, disgraced journalist, has been given one last chance to redeem herself, follow a tip about a secret militia compound in the Alaskan wilderness and get the scoop that will put her back on top. But when her investigation takes a dangerous turn, she finds herself running for her life. Danny's only hope is the rugged hotshot firefighter who comes to her rescue. As danger closes in, she'll have to trust this mountain man with her life. He'd risk everything to protect his home. Grizz has one calling: fight fires and protect the Alaskan forests he calls home. But when a reckless, albeit beautiful reporter trespasses on his territory, he finds himself in the middle of a terrorist plot bent on destroying everything he's got left to care for. It seems he'll have to do the very thing he swore he'd never do: trust. Buried Wilderness Secrets by Jaime Jo Wright releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. Uncovering cold case secrets could be deadly. Montana Park Ranger Alia Terrence finds a serial killer's burial ground and narrowly survives the brutal attack that follows. And when cold case detective Wade Marlowe reveals that her birth mother was the murderer's first victim, it soon becomes clear that Alia has been marked as his next target. As their search into the past reveals old skeletons and puts Alia in ever-increasing danger, she'll have to rely on Wade to keep her safe. But will they discover the killer's identity before she meets the same end as her mother? Under the Marshal's Watch by Jaycee Bullard releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. With innocent lives at stake, he'll do anything to protect them. U.S. Marshal Jimmy Flynn's mission to guard his witnesses in a safe house should be straightforward, until hitmen breach the location with the intent to kill Isabel Carroll's and kidnap her son. Now it's up to Jimmy to keep Isabel and her child safe as they travel across state lines, so she can testify against her criminal ex-husband. But with relentless gunmen anticipating their every move, his mission is a race against time. Can Jimmy keep them alive long enough to expose the truth, or will the dangerous pursuit cost them everything? Tracing Killer Evidence by Jodie Bailey releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. This is Dakota Canine Unit Book 5. A string of unsolved kidnappings, a canine team out for justice. Forensic artist Isabella Whitmore narrowly escapes an abduction attempt in the Dakota Badlands, only to find herself targeted by a mysterious assailant. With the help of FBI Special Agent Liam Barringer and his canine Guthrie, Isabella must uncover the identity of her would-be murderer. Is the culprit the elusive kidnapper turned serial killer who's targeting Isabella because she matches his victim profile? Or has her secret past finally caught up with her? As the attacks escalate, Isabella and Liam must find the truth and stop the danger before it's too late. Dangerous Mountain Threat by Rebecca Hopewell releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. A search for a missing person has life and death stakes. While Paige Addison is investigating her twin sister's disappearance, a cryptic message leads her to a mysterious thumb drive, and she nearly gets kidnapped. With the help of private investigator and childhood friend Martin Hosey, Paige discovers Layla was pursuing a news story that Sommer will do anything to bury. As they try to untangle a web of secrets, Paige and Martin are forced to go on the run through the treacherous wilderness with unknown assailants hot on their trail. Will they be able to save Layla and themselves, or could any move they make be their last? Deadly Ranch Abduction by Sommer Smith releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired Suspense. A criminal in pursuit and a child caught in the crossfire. During an investigation into her former fiancé's suspicious death, Reagan Tucker inadvertently becomes a witness to illegal gun smuggling and the target of a murderer. Fleeing from her armed pursuer sends her into the path of U.S. Deputy Marshal Coulter Beckett. But any illusion of safety disappears when the culprit sets his sights on her late fiancé's daughter. Now taking refuge at her grandfather's remote Wyoming ranch, can Reagan and Coulter fend off the approaching gunmen and keep a child out of a killer's hands? In historical fiction, A Secret Heart by Wendy Kloppenstein and Lacy Williams releases on the 1st of July and is published by Sunrise Publishing. The last thing middle brother Ed McGraw wants is to be tangled up in a scheme to find a mail-order bride for his black sheep brother. But that's right where Ed finds himself, writing love letters and not signing his own name. Intrigued by the woman who writes back, Rebecca Edwards keeps her dreams to herself and finds contentment working for the local newspaper, running matrimonial advertisements. Until the day a new ad appears, one written by the very rancher Rebecca has pined for her entire life. But just as she strikes up a correspondence, Rebecca finds herself drawn inexplicably to Ed McGraw, the wrong McGraw brother for her. What will happen when she finds out the author's true identity? The Highland Heist by Pepper Basham releases on the 1st of July and is published by Barber Fiction. This is Frederick and Grace Mystery Book 4. Grace storms a Scottish castle to save her sister. Lord Astley surprises his wife with a trip to America to see her family before they end their honeymoon adventures. But just as they arrive, they find Grace's sister, Lilias, is the prime suspect in her husband's murder. To add to the confusion, a solicitor arrives to tell the sisters they are needed in Scotland immediately to claim their mother's inheritance. The clock is ticking to clear Lilias of suspicion, but someone is determined to keep the sisters from reaching the Scottish Highlands. When Lilias disappears, Freddie and Grace race to Scotland, sure the answers will be found in a long-forgotten castle. With a ghost from Frederick's past leaving threatening clues along the way, the mysterious Mr. Kane waiting in the wings to grab the inheritance for himself, and an apparition haunting the infamous castle, Lord and Lady Astley must capture the castle, save Lilias, and not die in the process. Designed with Love by Tracy Peterson releases on the 1st of July and is published by Bethany House. This is The Hope of Cheyenne, Book 2. After being widowed on her wedding day, Emma Johnson moves to Cheyenne with her sister-in-law to start over. Emma's life has been marked by wild living and a desire for fun, but the death of her husband forces her to reassess her priorities. Her brother-in-law Colton Benton travels with them, intending to help Emma get established. However, Emma becomes wary of Colton's intentions, wondering if he is genuinely interested in her or merely after his brother's inheritance. Colton, who has harboured feelings for Emma since they first met, is caught between his love for her and the pressure from his brothers to marry her for the family's financial benefit. As they settle into Cheyenne, Colton tries to balance his business dealings with the Union Pacific and his growing affection for Emma. His sister, with her simple yet profound belief in God, becomes a source of inspiration for both Emma and Colton. They embark on a journey of faith, and through their struggles they discover that love, forgiveness, and a divine plan are intricately woven into their lives. No Stone Unturned by Janelle Hovde releases on the 15th of July and is published by Tyndale Fiction. She wants to uncover the past. He wishes to build a future. In this Regency romance set in the rolling hills of West Sussex, two opposing wills discover their fate may lie in the common ground. Miss Bridget Littleton's passion for history and antiquities defies most social conventions, even in her small village. When a local farmer discovers an elaborate mosaic buried in his field, Bridget dreams of making a name and future for herself by restoring the Roman ruins. Unfortunately, her quest puts her at odds with the ambitious new lord who recently inherited the title and Hawthorne Abbey from his estranged uncle. Recovering from wounds of both body and spirit, Captain Rafe Hawthorne is intent on restoring his long-neglected ancestral home. His plans to rebuild the Abbey's once-thriving orchards require a road that will pass straight through Bridget's potential trove of artifacts. He cannot fail again, even if he is moved by Bridget and her passion. Yet this impasse might not be their greatest obstacle. A natural disaster and a series of suspicious accidents threaten both their plans, along with the livelihood of the nearby villagers dependent on their success. With their dreams in the balance, Bridget and Rafe must work together to fend off an unexpected enemy that may prove more dangerous than either could have imagined. The Collector of Burned Books by Rosanna M. White releases on the 15th of July and is published by Tyndale Fiction. Paris 1940. Ever since the Nazi Party began burning books, German writers exiled for their opinions or heritage had been taking up residence in Paris. There they opened a library meant to celebrate the freedom of ideas and gathered every book on the banned list, and even incognito versions of the forbidden books that were smuggled back into Germany. For the last 6 years, Corinne Bastien has been reading those books and making that library a second home, but when the German army takes possession of Paris, she loses access to the library and all the secrets she'd hidden there. Secrets the Allies will need if they have any hope of liberating the city she calls home. Christian Bauer may be German, but he never wanted anything to do with the Nazi Party. He is a professor, who's done his best to protect his family as well as the books that were a threat to Nazi ideals. But when Goebbels sends him to Paris to handle the relocation of France's libraries, he's forced into an army uniform and given a rank he doesn't want. In Paris he tries to protect whoever and whatever he can from the madness of the party and preserve the ideas that Germans will need again when that madness is over, and maybe find a lost piece of his heart. These Blue Mountains by Sarah Loudon Thomas releases on the 15th of July and is published by Bethany House. German pianist Hedda Schlegel's world collapses when her fiancé Fritz vanishes after being sent to an enemy alien camp in the United States during the Great War. 15 years later, in 1933, Hedda is stunned to see Fritz's name in a photograph of an American monument to German POWs in Asheville, North Carolina. Determined to reclaim his body and bring closure to his ailing mother, Hedda embarks on a journey from Germany to the US. However, her quest takes a dark turn when Fritz's casket contains the remains of a woman who died under mysterious circumstances. Local deputy Garland Jones, who helped bury Fritz Meyer's coffin, thought he'd left that dark chapter behind. The unexpected arrival of Hedda, a long-suffering and captivating woman, forces him to confront how much of the truth he really knows. Hedda and Garland grow closer as they work together to uncover the identity of the woman in the casket and to unravel Fritz's fate. But with Hedda in the US on borrowed time as unrest in Germany looms, she fears she'll be forced to return home without answers or an end to the ghosts of her past. A Dangerous Heart by Wendy Gallinetti and Lacy Williams releases on the 29th of July and is published by Sunrise Publishing. This is Wind River Mail Order Brides Book 4. Former U.S. Marshal Isaac McGraw wants nothing more than to forget his past and live in isolation on the family ranch. But his meddling family has cooked up other plans that include matching Isaac with a mail-order bride who has 2 young boys in tow. There's something about Claire Ferguson that bothers Isaac more than the haunted look in her eyes and the way she's constantly glancing over her shoulder. Against his will and better judgment, he finds himself drawn to Claire and her cheery disposition. When Claire's secret past and relationship to an infamous outlaw is revealed, Isaac must break free from the chains of his past to keep his new family safe. In contemporary romance, The Fire Chief's Surprise by Chris Madej Schmidt releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired. He wasn't looking for love until one little boy came into his life. Fire Chief Josh Rogers has just 3 months to get married or risk losing custody of his late foster brother's infant son. So when Annie Green offers to help him find a wife in exchange for repairs at her bakery, it seems like the perfect solution. As the 3 spend time together, Josh can't help but feel that Annie's the only person he can picture filling the role of Finn's mother, but can they set aside their past insecurities and embrace a chance at happily ever after? The Rancher's Secret Daughter by Jennifer Slattery releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired. Could an unexpected reunion be his second chance at happiness? Just weeks before a horse vaulting performance, Xavier Shaw needs a new coach, and his only option is his ex. Charlotte Murphy broke his heart when she left Sage Creek without an explanation, but now she's back to start an equine therapy business alongside her whip-smart little girl. As Xavier and Charlotte work together, old flames reignite and new connections deepen. But with Charlotte's secret hanging over them, will they be able to embrace the family they're becoming, or will the truth tear them apart once again? His New Companion by Jill Chimera releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired. Healing from heartbreak can start with a 4-legged friend. 6 years after losing his fiancée, rancher Ty Moulton still struggles with grief. Organising a fundraiser in her honour and fostering a service dog feel like a step forward, and lead to meeting Ashlyn Bernier, the Service Dog Training Centre's new administrative assistant. As Ashlyn helps Ty plan the fundraiser, he finds himself falling for Fritz, the tiny dachshund, in his care, and for Ashlyn, who has a service dog of her own. But Ashlyn worries her health challenges make her a burden, and Ty wonders if he can open his heart again. Will two hard-working pups help them choose love over holding on to fear? Building Her a Home by Lisa Carter releases on the 1st of July and is published by Love Inspired. Can One Little Girl's Wish Bring Two Lonely Hearts Together? When country music singer Noah Brendan walked away from fame to raise his orphan niece, he made a vow never to stay anywhere long enough to be recognized. So when a blast from his past, music teacher Chloe Randolph falls into his arms while trying to rescue little Lily's cat, it's his cue to leave. But Lily longs for a permanent home, and Chloe desperately needs Noah's help to restore the town's historic theatre, promising to keep his true identity safe in return. Staying put wasn't his plan, but could it lead to the future he never knew he was looking for? Second Chance at Sunshine Inn by Amy Clipston releases on the 8th of July and is published by Thomas Nelson. Two polar opposites, one cosy inn and one sweet and surprising chance at unlikely love. When Everly Hartnett, a cheerful travelling NICU nurse who can't sit still, inherits half of her godmother's beloved seaside bed and breakfast, she dreams of selling the place to fund the non-profit she and her godmother always envisioned. But there's one tiny problem: her new co-owner. Rugged, grumpy, and fiercely loyal to the inn, Cade Witherspoon isn't about to let his peaceful life and his new start be sold off so easily. Everly and Cade are opposites in every way. She's sunshine and laughter, while he's all rough edges and quiet brooding. Their clash of wills over the inn soon has them wondering what on earth Everly's godmother was thinking when she left them both in charge. As Everly gets to know Cade's softer side and Cade finds himself drawn to Everly's optimism and kindness, the disagreement over the inn becomes something sweeter. But with the arrival of Cade's long-lost brother and the looming threat of a developer sniffing around the property, they'll have to make some hard choices together. Can Everly and Cade let go of their expectations and build something lasting together, or will the Sunshine Inn be the place they both leave behind? Meet Me on Blueberry Hill by Lisa Jordan releases on the 8th of July and is published by Sunrise Publishing. This is Jonathan Ireland Book 4. Copywriter and songwriter wannabe Sadie Hudson vowed never to return to Jonathan Island, but when her grandmother needs her and she's the only one left to help, yes, she'll return, because she'll do anything for family, even if it means facing the tragedy that haunts her, the accident that took her sister's life. Look away and don't get involved. What's a guy going to do? Yes, Asher Quinn has noticed his elderly neighbour's new arrival, but he's not interested in anything but solitude for reasons he'll tell no one. And then, shoot, a tree comes down on the house and he can't live with himself if he doesn't help. Please let it not cost him the new life he's constructed here. Except Sadie and her sunshine has seeped into his dark soul, and he finds himself wanting not only to help, but to know her more. But if she discovers his secret, it just might send her running from the one place she now calls home. As for Sadie, Asher has awakened the songwriter inside her, and suddenly Mr. Grumpy has found a place in her heart and ignited her courage to enter the town's songwriting festival on Blueberry Hill. But Asher is more than he has told her, and when the truth comes out, well, she knew better than to trust the boy next door, right? The Sands of Sea Blue Beach by Rachel Hawke releases on the 15th of July and is published by Bethany House. Emery Quinn finds herself at a crossroads between her career and complex family dynamics. Living at home in Cleveland and clinging to memories of her late mother, Emery struggles to connect with her blended family. Seizing the chance for a fresh start, she accepts the position of editor-in-chief at the struggling Sea Blue Beach Gazette. Returning to the Sands Motor Motel in the picturesque Florida town, she is flooded with bittersweet memories and past regrets. Architect Caleb Ransom has returned to Sea Blue Beach, a place filled with both cherished and painful memories. He means to make a difference for his family and hometown by raising his abandoned nephew and preserving the history of Sea Blue Beach as the leader of the new historical society. He never expected to see Emery Quinn again, the girl who captured his heart 16 summers ago. As Emery and Caleb rekindle their friendship and explore a chance at love, they join forces to unite Sea Blue Beach, a town bitterly divided into east and west, old and new. Together they navigate family challenges, professional setbacks, and a high-stakes royal visit, all leading to a place where forgiveness and love reshape their journey back to each other. A Family on His Doorstep by Elena Auguste releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired. Sometimes a tough situation requires a leap of faith. Unwed, unemployed, and pregnant, Rebecca Young is in desperate need of a job, but finding work seems impossible, so when her late ex-boyfriend's cousin, Walker Greystone, offers her room, board, and a part-time job at the library he's renovating in Eden, Texas, she eagerly accepts. But as they work together on a project that could change both of their lives, their feelings for one another deepen. Can Rebecca and Walker overcome their scars from the past and embrace the possibility of a happily ever after together? A Montanasized Secret by Ali Pleiter releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired. Can she trust him again for the sake of their baby? Returning to High Mountain pregnant is not the fresh start Carly Davis imagined, nor is telling Jack Peters he's the father, and with Jack in the early stages of addiction recovery, she questions if he can handle being a parent. But Jack is determined to show that he's changed, and a chance to prove himself arises when they must care for a litter of rescued baby bunnies. Trust slowly builds between them again, but as unexpected news threatens their fragile bond, can they overcome the uncertainties to be the family they both need? The Soldier's Canine Companion by Belle Calhoun releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired. A chance to finally heal with the help of a four-legged friend. Struggling with PTSD, retired Navy SEAL Luke Adams hopes getting a service dog will help him finally get his life back. Fortunately, his best friend's sister, Destiny Johnson, runs a canine farm where she trains service dogs. When Destiny pairs him up with an Alaskan husky named Java and teaches him how to bond with the sweet pup, he realizes that he and Destiny have more in common than he thought. With their friendship growing into something deeper, can a dedicated canine help them both face their trauma and come out stronger together? Reuniting with the Cowboy by Julia Ruth releases on the 29th of July and is published by Love Inspired. Is he home for the summer or home for good? After spending 10 years in Africa as a missionary, Joe Trulane returns to his hometown with a daughter in tow. What he doesn't expect is to find his high school sweetheart, Erin Spencer, with a foster daughter, or to hire Erin to tutor his child. Forced to spend time together, neither anticipates the old feelings that reignite. But Erin can't risk falling for Joe again. He's returning to Africa when the season ends. As the girls bond, Erin sees the family she once dreamed of. Will this summer show them both that home is where second chances live? In fantasy and sci-fi, The Crier Stone by Lindsay Llewellyn releases on the 8th of July and is published by Enclave Escape. This is the Chaos Grid Book 2. This is a sequential series, so here is the description to Book 1. Cross the grid, survive the storms, let your destiny burn. When mankind's attempt to control nature backfire, Texas descends into a wasteland. Storms rage and ravenous beasts roam the outer grid. The only safe havens rest inside the tech-obsessed dome cities. But when her parents are murdered inside the Plex City dome, 17-year-old Juniper Conway wants revenge. Ties to her extended family threaten to pull her back as she runs from city to city. The Plex is endangering its citizens by legalizing a deadly nano-drug, and Juniper's family needs her help to deliver the counter-agent. Saving the city who orphaned her goes against everything she stands for. The only way out is to brave the wasteland. Juniper joins a shipping crew fearless enough to transport food outside the outer grid, but when a string of bad luck turns lethal, she fears something or someone is dragging her back to the Plex. As her world sinks into chaos, Juniper must decide if revenge is worth the lives of the crew she has come to love. And finally, Lady of Shadows by Jill Williamson and Kelly Fernlake releases on the 15th of July and is published by Sunrise Publishing. This is Blood of Kings Legends Series Book 3. The description to Book 1, Squire of Truth, reads, Cole Tanine, squire to the soon-to-be king, has journeyed far from his days as a stray stable boy in a distant mountain village. Haunted by the echoes of past failures on the battlefield, he seeks solace in music, hoping to find belonging among fellow musicians. His quest leads him to Mistal Webb, a spirited songstress determined to forge her own path on stage. For too long, Mistal has been bound by a past of confinement and control. Now on her own she toils tirelessly to make her mark, but the struggle to earn a living in a world that fails to appreciate her talents proves exhausting. When she connects Cole with the future king and discovers he's a skilled lutist, she sees an opportunity to change her future. When a heinous crime leaves Mistal's roommate dead, she turns to Cole for help. Despite his inexperience as an investigator, Cole vows to uncover the truth. Together they delve into the dark alleys of Armengard, uncovering a sinister web of secrets and sorcery that threatens the kingdom. As their journey unfolds, their shared love of music catches the attention of the king, who commissions them to compose a song for his upcoming wedding, offering a glimpse of normalcy amid adversity. Can Cole and Mistal prevail against enemies wielding dark magic, or will they become the next casualties in a deadly game of power? So which of the books that I've mentioned today are the ones that you think you would read in the future? Let me know down in the comments section. There's a lot to go through. I have put a list of the books that I've mentioned today in the description. You can also go to my blog post and I will have the whole transcript of all of the descriptions there for you to look back through, plus some links to the Goodreads pages. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you're having a fantastic reading week. Until next time, I pray God bless you and your families. Okay, see you again soon.